What if the sentences you repeat to yourself every day could be the doorway to a different life? What if the single thought you carry like a weight, "I'm not ready, I don't deserve this, that's not for people like me," is not a fixed truth, but a learned habit of mind that can be changed? This moment, right now, is about learning a clear way to break those limiting beliefs and begin to attract more of what you want: peace, opportunity, vitality, and a sense of enough. Transform your life. How affirmations can break limiting beliefs and attract abundance. That is the promise we will explore together. First, a simple map. A limiting belief is a private rule you got taught or picked up that narrows what you see and what you do. It is a filter. When you believe, "I am not good enough," your attention hunts for evidence that proves that true. Your choices shrink. Opportunities pass by. What if the sentences you repeat to yourself every day could be the doorway to a different life? What if the single thought you carry like a weight, "I'm not ready, I don't deserve this, that's not for people like me," is not a fixed truth, but a learned habit of mind that can be changed? This moment, right now, is about learning a clear way to break those limiting beliefs and begin to attract more of what you want: peace, opportunity, vitality, and a sense of enough. Transform your life. How affirmations can break limiting beliefs and attract abundance. That is the promise we will explore together. First, a simple map. A limiting belief is a private rule you got taught or picked up that narrows what you see and what you do. It is a filter. When you believe, "I am not good enough," your attention hunts for evidence that proves that true. Your choices shrink. Opportunities pass by unnoticed because they don't fit the story you already believe about yourself. These patterns are real and they are changeable. Why affirmations? Because they give your mind a new pattern to practice, one that over time becomes familiar, automatic, and easier to act from. When you repeat a statement to yourself in the present tense, with feeling, and with small aligned actions behind it, you create new grooves in your thinking. In plain language, your brain is built to learn. The more you practice a thought and back it up with tiny behaviors, the more your brain will wire itself to make that thought feel true and natural. This is what neuroscientists call neuroplasticity. It means your brain changes in response to experience, not just dramatic events, but repeated small acts of attention. There are 3 essential pieces that make an affirmation do the work: repetition, emotional resonance, and aligned action. Repetition trains attention. Emotional resonance brings the body on board. When your heart and breath accept a new statement, it moves faster from an idea to a way of being. Aligned action proves the statement to yourself in the real world, one small step that contradicts the old belief. To hold this tool simply, remember one framework you will return to again and again. Notice, replace, reinforce plus act. Notice, become curious, catch the thought that limits you. Replace, create a targeted affirmation that names the opposite truth you want to cultivate. Reinforce plus act, repeat the affirmation with feeling and take one small behavior that proves it to yourself. A very human example. Imagine you are considering applying for a promotion, but a thought keeps whispering, "I'm not experienced enough." You notice that thought. You replace it with a practice sentence: "I am capable of learning and growing into greater responsibilities." You reinforce this. You say the sentence each morning, you write one paragraph in a journal about past times you learned quickly, and you take the small action of updating your resume and sending one inquiry email. Over weeks, your attention shifts. The promotion becomes a possibility you allow yourself to pursue, and your steps produce evidence that alters your belief. This is not magic, and we won't promise miracles. What it is a reliable, research-consistent method for changing the mental patterns that shape your life. It creates conditions for more possibilities, not guarantees. Keep that humility in mind as we build. If this message is already resonating and you want practical tools to use as we go, download the printable affirmation list linked in the description. It contains the sequences you'll hear here and templates you can adapt for your own life. Now let's slow down and look under the hood. How does this actually work inside you? Beliefs are memory-like structures. They hold tendencies, what you notice, how you interpret events, and the actions you take. When your mind expects rejection, it scans the world and constructs evidence of rejection. Over weeks, your attention shifts. The promotion becomes a possibility you allow yourself to pursue, and your steps produce evidence that alters your belief. This is not magic, and we won't promise miracles. What it is a reliable, research-consistent method for changing the mental patterns that shape your life. It creates conditions for more possibilities, not guarantees. Keep that humility in mind as we build. If this message is already resonating and you want practical tools to use as we go, download the printable affirmation list linked in the description. It contains the sequences you'll hear here and templates you can adapt for your own life. Now let's slow down and look under the hood. How does this actually work inside you? Beliefs are memory-like structures. They hold tendencies, what you notice, how you interpret events, and the actions you take. When your mind expects rejection, it scans the world and constructs evidence of rejection. When your mind expects scarcity, your attention narrows to what's missing. Repetition of new statements changes what the mind expects. You retrain attention. You create new interpretive rules. Neuroscience explains that repeated activation of a pathway makes that pathway stronger. Frequent thoughts build stronger neural networks. But repetition alone is often not enough. Feeling and behavior accelerate the process. Emotion tags an experience as important. Small actions supply corrective experiences, real sensory proof that the new belief can be trusted. This three-part combination, thought, feeling, action, creates a feedback loop that reshapes expectation. There are also psychological reasons affirmations work. Cognitive reframing shifts the meaning you assign to events. Behavioral experiments, trying small things that test the belief, provide counter-evidence. Over time, the story you tell yourself changes because the input of your life changes and your internal narrative adapts. But you don't begin with a blank slate. You begin where you are. So the first practical skill here is noticing. Notice. For 3 days, carry a small, quiet note and simply observe the sentences you tell yourself when you are stressed or stuck. Write them down without judgment. What do you notice? Are they about not enoughness, fear of failure, scarcity, undeservedness? When a thought repeats 3 times, it's likely a pattern, a limiting belief. Try this micro exercise now. Name the first limiting thought that comes to mind. Say it to yourself once, aloud, as an observation, not a verdict. Then write it on a line. Don't try to change it yet. You're only collecting evidence. Awareness is the first victory. Once you have a clear notice, the second skill is replacement. Replace with an affirmation. Effective affirmations follow a few simple rules. They are present tense. You speak them as if they are happening now. They are personal and in the first person. I statements. They are positive, what you want to move toward rather than what you want to avoid. They are believable. If a statement feels impossible, start smaller with a bridge affirmation that opens the possibility. They are short enough to repeat and loaded with feeling. Examples of wording options. Full shift affirmation. I am worthy of abundance and growth. Bridge affirmation for high resistance. I am open to the possibility that I can be worthy of more. Behavior anchored affirmation. I am learning new skills every week that prepare me for growth. If your mind pushes back, if the new sentence feels false, start with a credible edge. Affirmations are not about forcing yourself to lie. They're about creating a new, believable input that curiosity and small action can back up. Replace is a creative moment. Write 3 versions of the affirmation you want. Make them slightly different lengths. Test them aloud. Which one feels like a small reach rather than an impossible leap? Choose that one. You can step up the language later as your experience accumulates. Now the third skill, reinforce and act. Reinforce involves repetition and emotion. Say the affirmation daily at set moments, morning, midday, evening. Say it with breath and with slight emphasis on the words that matter most. Let your body register the statement. Pair the repetition with a small, consistent action, an action that provides immediate, believable proof. If your affirmation is about worthiness, your action might be to do one thing each day that honors yourself. Say no to one request that drains you, or schedule a short walk purely for enjoyment. If your affirmation is about abundance, your action might be tracking one small step toward income or value creation every day. Action is what turns an inner sentence into a lived reality. Without action, affirmations can remain decorative. With action, they become evidence. Return to the framework often. Notice, replace, reinforce, and act. I will reference it as we move through practices and examples because it's the spine of the work. Let's turn to how to craft affirmations so they really land. There are practical rules that help clarity and speed the mind's acceptance. Use the present tense. Say, I am, not I will be. Your brain registers the present as more immediate and malleable. Keep it personal. Use I statements that claim agency. Make it positive. Focus on what you want to attract instead of what you want to avoid. Keep it believable. If I am wealthy feels impossible, try I am becoming financially wiser, or I am discovering new ways to increase my income. These bridge statements allow your nervous system to accept the idea without a defensive bounce. Specificity is optional depending on your goal. For identity shifts like worthiness or confidence, broad affirmations work. For practical targets like career steps, specificities help. I am finishing one professional project this month, rather than I am successful. Anchor with feeling words. Add an emotional tag like I am calm and confident, or I accept myself with warmth. Feeling accelerates acceptance. Pair statements with small tests. If your affirmation is, I am worthy of connection, schedule a short, low-risk outreach. Send a message to an old friend immediately. Before we move into practice, let me share 2 brief vignettes, short stories of how this looks in everyday change. Both are fictional composites, but they capture real patterns. Case Vignette 1, Mara's quiet promotion. Mara has worked at the same company for 5 years. When an internal promotion was posted, a familiar thought surfaced. I'm not leadership material. She noticed the thought each time it crept up. She replaced it with a bridge affirmation. I am learning to lead with clarity and care. Her micro-action was simple. Each week she volunteered to lead one small project meeting and asked for one piece of feedback afterward. She repeated the sentence each morning and before meetings. Over 3 months, her confidence grew. She gathered evidence in the form of successful small meetings and positive feedback, and she began to see herself as someone who could step into leadership. She did not invent results overnight. She changed the way she scanned the world, and the world responded with opportunities she could now recognize. Case Vignette 2, Jonah's money mindset. Jonah's money story was, I never have enough. He noticed that whenever he received a modest windfall, he spent it quickly because the belief anticipated scarcity. He replaced the thought with a manageable affirmation, I am learning to steward my money wisely. He reinforced this with 2 small habits. He started a simple weekly budget check for 10 minutes and saved one small percentage of each income into a separate account. As weeks passed, the act of saving gave tangible proof that money could be managed, and the internal experience of scarcity softened. His behavior did not guarantee wealth, it created a condition in which different choices became possible. Notice how both stories followed the same framework. Notice the old rule, replace with a new phrase, repeat with feeling, and act in alignment. The actions were small, believable, and they built proof. Now we move into practice. This is where you will feel the cadence of repetition and the steady building of new pathways. We will begin with a self-love and worthiness sequence. That sequence is foundational because worthiness is the soil from which many other changes grow. If you do the self-love work, other affirmations about abundance, health, relationships, and success will take root more easily. As you prepare, find a comfortable posture. Breathe slowly. There is no rush. The aim is not to perform perfectly, but to meet yourself with curiosity and patience. Short framing for this sequence. Self-love affirmations rewire the belief that you must earn acceptance. They do not deny pain or hardship. They offer an alternative habitual response, recognition, care, and steady presence toward yourself. Here are compact lines you can use. Say each line slowly, once, and feel how your chest and throat move with it. Pause between lines long enough to notice how your body responds. Let the phrasing be flexible. Adapt to what lands for you. I am worthy of love and respect. I am enough exactly as I am. I forgive myself for what I could not know then. I am learning and growing every day. I welcome kindness toward myself. I am allowed to rest and replenish. I choose compassion over harshness. I accept my mistakes as steps, not judgments. I am present with my feelings, and then I choose what to do. I honor my needs, and I meet them with care. I celebrate my small victories. I am patient with my progress. I am learning to hold myself with tenderness. I deserve the same care I give to others. That is one set. Repeat it once more, and this time soften into the words as if you are speaking to a young version of yourself who needs encouragement. If one of the lines feels false, pause and replace it with a bridge sentence like, I am open to feeling worthy, or I am learning to accept myself. After you finish this cluster, open a short space to notice. What changed? Maybe your breathing slowed. Maybe a resistant thought surfaced. Note it and do not judge it. The appearance of resistance is information. It marks the location of an old neural groove. Write that observation down. Application tip for the self-love sequence. Choose one small action that affirms the words. It might be placing a sticky note on your bathroom mirror with "I am enough," or setting a 5-minute calendar reminder at midday to pause and repeat the top 3 lines. The action should be visible and tiny, something you are likely to do. Over time, increase the action in small, manageable steps. Now let's move toward abundance. Abundance affirmations do not promise material windfalls. They shift how your attention notices opportunities, resources, and creative channels. Abundance includes time, attention, relationships, energy, and yes, money. The aim is to loosen the mental squeeze that narrows you to scarcity. Before the abundance cluster, return for a moment to the framework. Notice, replace, reinforce, plus act. What scarcity thought tends to run in your mind? Notice it. Replace it with a bridge or full affirmation.
Reinforce with repetition and one concrete behavior that nudges your access to abundance. Here are abundance-focused lines. As before, speak each phrase slowly. Allow your body to register each statement. If you want, write your favorite 3 on a card to keep with you. I am open to receiving abundance in many forms. I am worthy of prosperity and freedom. I notice opportunities when they appear. I am learning to make wise choices with my resources. I attract ideas that create value. I give and receive with ease. I am creative and resourceful in solving problems. I am stepping into new possibilities every day. I welcome support and allow others to help me. I release scarcity-based decisions and choose expansion. I am building a life of increasing abundance, one step at a time. I trust my capacity to create value and receive it. After this cluster, pause and reflect on a small action that will be the proof test for you. It could be researching one way to increase income or value this week. It could be scheduling a brief informational call. It could be reworking a small part of your routine that tends to waste energy. Choose one thing you can do this week that aligns with the affirmation you just spoke. Write it down now. A practical pairing strategy is habit stacking. Anchor your affirmation practice to an existing routine. Make a note to say your abundance lines after brushing your teeth in the morning or while making your first cup of coffee. Linking a new behavior to an existing habit dramatically increases the likelihood you will repeat it. When an affirmation feels unbelievable, use a bridge approach. For example, if "I am worthy of prosperity" feels too large, try "I am open to learning how to build prosperity," or "I am ready to notice small signs of abundance." Bridge statements function like low-resistance doorways. Over time, as you collect evidence, you can step through to stronger, more full statements. Now we will practice a few variations so you have options for different levels of belief. For each solid affirmation above, create a bridge and an expanded version in your mind or on paper. Take one sentence you liked from the abundance cluster. Say, "I attract ideas that create value." Your bridge could be, "I am noticing ideas that may create value." Your expansion could be, "I attract and develop ideas that create meaningful value for me and others." Keep these 3 versions. Use the bridge when resistance is high, the middle when you are ready to engage, and the expansion when you have built some evidence. As you move through these practices, remember to be gentle. Changing long-standing mental habits takes time. The power of these practices is their cumulative effect. Tiny, consistent steps, repeated with feeling and aligned action, reshape the landscape of what feels possible. Let's practice another short series focused on health and vitality. Health affirmations do not promise cures.
They invite you to turn towards small practices that support well-being and to change the internal narrative that undermines care. What is a common health-related thought you tell yourself? It could be, "I'm always tired," or "I can't stick to healthy habits." Notice it. Now say these lines slowly, allowing your breath to follow each phrase. My body deserves care and attention. I listen to my body and respond with kindness. I choose nourishment and movement that energize me. I allow myself to rest when I need to rest. I am capable of small, consistent health habits. I celebrate the ways I support my vitality today. I honor my body with patience and respect. After this cluster, pick one micro action that supports the statement. Drink 1 extra glass of water today, add an extra 10-minute walk this week, or schedule bed 10 minutes earlier. Keep the action small and track it for 3 days. When resistance emerges, I never stick to anything, use a bridge. I am learning small ways to support my energy. Then take a proof action, 1 10-minute walk. The evidence you collect will change your internal narrative over time. So far, we have covered why affirmations work, how to craft them, the core framework, and 3 themed clusters: self-love, abundance, and health, with personalization and pairing strategies. You have already gathered tools: noticing, writing, choosing a bridge, repeating, and taking a micro action that provides evidence. We are now ready to deepen into relationship and career sequences, but before we proceed, let's pause to integrate some practice tips that will make the work sustainable. First, rhythm and scheduling. Short bursts of practice, repeated daily, outperform occasional long sessions. 2 to 3 minutes in the morning and a 1-minute reflection in the evening set a powerful cadence. Keep an extra set of phrases for moments of stress or decision-making during the day. Second, environmental anchors. Place your favorite affirmation where you will see it: mirror, phone lock screen, a card in your wallet. These visual cues invite repetition without needing to remember a schedule. Third, journaling. After each morning practice for the first 2 weeks, write 1 line of evidence you notice that supports your affirmation. It could be as small as "I asked a colleague for feedback and received encouragement," or "I chose an extra healthy snack." Accumulate these lines. They are the proof bank that helps your nervous system trust the new story. Fourth, habit tracking. Use a simple checklist or an app to mark days you practiced. Consistency matters more than perfection. If you miss a day, note it and return. Each time you come back, you strengthen resilience, not weakness. Fifth, social support. Share 1 small commitment with someone you trust: an accountability partner, a friend, or a group. The social layer offers external feedback and gentle pressure to keep going.
If you share, choose someone who will encourage without judgment. Now, troubleshooting. What happens when an affirmation triggers resistance? Resistance is normal. It is a sign you are near an old belief. Use a 3-step approach: soften, bridge, test. Soften. Slow your breathing, reduce the emotional intensity, and say a milder statement. Instead of forcing a full shift sentence, try a bridge. Bridge. Convert the full affirmation into an "I am open to" or "I am learning to" version. This reduces the cognitive dissonance that causes pushback. Test. Take a tiny action that produces immediate feedback. For example, if "I am worthy of connection" feels false, send a small message to an acquaintance and watch the result. Small tests shorten the gap between idea and evidence. Resistance is not failure, it's a signpost. The more you practice approaching resistance with curiosity and small experiments, the faster you create new evidence that shifts the story. At this point, you may be wondering about how long this will take. There is no single timetable. Some people feel shifts in weeks, some need months. The key variable is consistent practice combined with real-world tests. Think in terms of months, not minutes, but take daily minutes. Those minutes add up. We will soon enter a deeper guided integration cycle that weaves worthiness, abundance, health, relationships, and career into a single flowing practice. That longer guided piece will include breath cues, visualization, and reflective journaling prompts designed to consolidate the new patterns. Before we begin that, there is one more practical set of resources to create: your personalized affirmation bank. Create 3 tiers for each theme we have covered: bridge, practice, and expansion. For example, under worthiness: bridge, I am open to feeling more worthy. Practice, I practice small acts of self-respect every day. Expansion, I deserve and receive love and respect in healthy ways. For abundance: bridge, I am open to noticing small signs of abundance. Practice, I take 1 consistent step each week toward increasing value in my life. Expansion,
I attract multiple streams of creative and financial abundance. For health, Ridge, I am learning small ways to support my energy. Practice, I choose nourishing foods and gentle movement today. Expansion, I feel vibrant and alive in my body. Write 3 lines for each theme and keep them on a single page. This page is your portable roadmap. When you feel resistance, use the bridge. When you can commit to consistent practice, use the practice line. When you have built evidence, choose the expansion. As you assemble your bank, add a short habit plan: morning recitation, midday micro reminder, evening reflection. Keep the plan simple. The power is in repetition and tiny wins. Now, gather your posture again and prepare for a deeper practice.
We will connect these themes together in a longer guided cycle that helps your body, emotions, and behavior align. The cycle we will do next will weave a core set of affirmations, worthiness, gratitude, and action, into a coherent experience designed to strengthen neural pathways and provide behavioral proof. Before we begin that integrated practice, take a breath and notice what shifted for you in the section so far. Maybe new possibilities are peeking through. Maybe the old belief clicked into view more clearly. Both are useful. When you're ready, we will start the integration cycle. In that practice, we will use layered repetition, brief visualizations, and direct journaling prompts at the end. You will be guided to choose one micro-action you will commit to for the next 7 days. That micro-action will be the practical test that begins to tilt your life toward abundance. As we set up for that guided cycle, remember the framework: notice, replace, reinforce, plus act. Trust it as a practical habit, not as a magic incantation. It will serve as a steady spine through the next practices, and you will return to it again and again as you deepen this work. Begin now to settle into a comfortable position. Allow your breathing to lengthen by 1 count. Feel the weight of your body supported. If your eyes close, let them do so gently. If you prefer to keep your eyes open, soften your gaze. Bring to mind one limiting belief you noticed earlier. See it as an image, a headline, a short sentence. Let it be present without engaging in argument. We will begin the integration with a short centering affirmation for worthiness, then a gratitude phrase to open perception, followed by an action-oriented line to orient toward abundance. Repeat each line 3 times, slowly, with feeling. Allow a gentle pause between each repetition to notice the inner body response and any thoughts that arise. I am worthy of care and belonging. I am grateful for the good that is already present. I take 1 step today toward my goals. I am worthy of care and belonging. I am grateful for the good that is already present. I take 1 step today toward my goals. I am worthy of care and belonging. I am grateful for the good that is already present. I take 1 step today toward my goals. As you repeat, notice any tightening, any pull away. Softly return attention to breath and to the tone of the words. Gratitude is an amplifier. It shifts attention toward resources and openings. Notice one small thing you can name now with gratitude. Quietly say it in your mind. Now bring to mind a small, specific action you can commit to for the next 7 days. It should be immediate and achievable. No dramatic promises, just a steady step. Write it down. Make it specific: what, when, and how long. For example, each morning after brushing my teeth, I will spend 2 minutes repeating my top 3 affirmations and writing 1 line of evidence in my journal.
Or, each evening I will spend 5 minutes planning 1 small professional outreach. As you choose, imagine yourself doing that action. Visualize the scene in simple sensory detail: what time it is, where you sit, how your hand moves. This visualization is not fanciful wishing. It is a rehearsal that makes the action more likely. When you have the action written, say aloud this commitment sentence: I commit to 1 small action each day that aligns with my affirmation. Repeat it once more with breath, letting the voice steady the intention. Now we will deepen the practice with a brief visualization that pairs feeling with the affirmation. Picture a doorway that represents the old belief you are moving through. It may be small, it may be ornate, it may be plain. See the doorway,
and notice whether it feels closed or open. Imagine yourself standing before that doorway, carrying the affirmation you chose. Feel the words as a light in your hands. With each step forward, the light brightens. Take one step through the doorway in your imagination, and notice the quality of the space on the other side. A space where the new statement is accepted, where you see fresh possibilities and small practical signs of abundance. Allow a sensory detail, the color of the light, the sound in the room, the feeling in your chest. Hold the image for a moment, then gently open your eyes if they were closed, and bring yourself back to the present. Finally, before we move further, take one practical note. Schedule an accountability check. Choose one person or one place where you will report your 7-day action at the end of the week. This step increases follow-through. Accountability does not mean pressure. It means gentle support. You have now moved through noticing your limiting belief, replaced it with an affirmation, reinforced it through repetition and visualization, and chosen a small action to act as proof. This is the practice in miniature, the very skill that, when repeated, rewires how you perceive yourself and the opportunities around you. We will continue with more targeted sequences, relationships, career, and an extended deep integration that stitches everything together into a daily 30-day map. In the next section, we will also explore variations of wording for different belief intensities and give specific journaling templates you can use each morning and evening to track proof. We will practice a longer guided abundance visualization that includes sensory detail and behavioral prompts, and we will map out a week-by-week plan for 30 days of consistent practice that includes check-ins, micro-actions, and scaling strategies. Before we begin that next block, take one more breath and notice the place where a slight shift already exists. Maybe it is a subtle relaxation, maybe a small curiosity, maybe nothing yet. Notice without judging. The path forward is steady and accumulative.
The next practice will help you build momentum toward the tangible changes you want to see. Now, as you step forward, we will explore relationships and career, two life areas where limiting beliefs often show up with particular force, and then weave a long integration practice that brings worthiness, gratitude, and action together into a steady daily map. Remember the spine. Notice, replace, reinforce, and act. Keep that phrase in your mind as a practical tool you can return to at any moment. Notice the belief. Replace it with a targeted sentence. Reinforce by repeating with feeling and taking one small aligned action. This simple loop is what makes abstract change into lived change. Think for a moment about relationships. Many limiting beliefs live here. I am too broken to be loved. I always push people away. I am not interesting. I'll be rejected if I tell the truth. These beliefs narrow how you show up, the risks you allow yourself to take, and the kinds of people you attract. The practice we use is the same. Notice the line you tell yourself, craft a believable replacement, and then take a small test that provides evidence the replacement can be real. Before we offer the affirmation lines, pause and name the common relational thought that tends to run in the background for you. Say it quietly to yourself, no judgment, just a noticing. Now imagine a softer alternative that feels like a reachable next step. That is your bridge. Keep that bridge handy. Here are relationship-focused affirmation lines you can practice. Speak each line once, slowly, and feel the body move of the words. I am worthy of honest, gentle connection. I am learning to show up as I am. I deserve relationships that respect my boundaries. I attract people who appreciate my presence. I communicate my needs with clarity and courage. I am open to deepening trust, one kind action at a time. I release the fear that I must be perfect to be loved. I choose relationships that reflect mutual care. I allow myself to receive support with gratitude. I notice the small signs of connection and lean into them. Repeat these lines one more time, softening your voice and imagining a particular person or context where the words could matter. A colleague, a friend, a potential partner, a family member. After you say the lines, select one micro-action that aligns with them. It might be sending a short message to check in on someone, saying one honest sentence in a conversation where you usually stay silent, or setting a boundary in a low-stakes situation. The micro-action is a test, small, immediate, and revealing. If the full statements feel too large, use bridge options and incremental versions. For example, transform I am worthy of honest, gentle connection into I am open to experiencing gentler connections, or I am learning to invite honest conversations.
Use the bridge when resistance is present. Use the practice version when you sense an opening, and move toward the expansion when evidence has accumulated. A short vignette. Anna believed she always gave too much in friendships and would be left drained. She noticed the thought and chose a bridge affirmation. I am learning to balance giving with receiving. Her microaction was small and testable. She agreed to meet a friend but decided beforehand to leave after 1 hour if she felt depleted, and she kept a brief note afterward about how the exchange felt. The tiny test gave her new data. Some friends responded with curiosity and changed the pattern. Others did not, but the important thing was she had evidence that balance was possible. Over weeks, she began to invite reciprocity more often, and her sense of relational agency shifted. Now, career. Work-related beliefs are potent because they influence income, status, identity, and daily satisfaction. Beliefs like, I'm not qualified, I can't ask for what I deserve, or I am not suited for leadership can quietly steer your choices away from growth. The approach again is identical. Notice, replace, reinforce, act. Take a moment to identify the career thought that tends to recur. Say it into the quiet. Now imagine a small, believable opposite, your bridge. Keep it short. Below are career and success-oriented affirmation lines. Say each line slowly and listen for the one that rings truest. I am capable of learning the skills I need. I offer value that others appreciate. I am learning to ask for what I deserve. I grow through practice and small, persistent steps. I am open to opportunities that align with my purpose. I take actions that expand my professional confidence. I am able to ask for feedback and use it to improve. I build competence through consistent, focused work. I celebrate progress even when it is incremental. I create meaningful work that contributes and sustains me. After repeating these lines, choose a microaction that will serve as a proof test. It might be drafting a concise message to a mentor asking for one piece of advice, spending 30 minutes polishing a portfolio item, or applying to one job or project outside your comfort zone. The important quality is that the action both challenges the limiting belief and is small enough that you are likely to follow through. If I am able to ask for feedback feels impossible, use a bridge such as I am learning how to ask for helpful feedback. Then the corresponding microaction could be to request a single line of feedback from a colleague on a particular task. The tiny experiment yields real evidence and shortens the gap between belief and reality. There are patterns that support careers and relationships simultaneously. Clarity about values, simple rituals for consistent forward motion, and an attitude of curiosity about results rather than shame about gaps. Notice this. Curiosity is more generative than judgment.
When resistance pops up, ask, what could I learn from this experience? That question opens your system to data and reduces the weight of identity proving around outcomes. Next, we will practice a longer guided abundance visualization that pairs sensory detail with repeated affirmations and concrete behavioral prompts. You can use it as a standalone practice or as part of a morning routine. It is designed to strengthen neural pathways by layering imagery, feeling, and intention with a clear microaction at the end. Allow the words to create images. They are a rehearsal. Breathe gently, and if you prefer eyes open, maintain a soft focus. Begin by imagining a place that feels open to possibility. It might be a real place, a morning beach, a small quiet room, a bright kitchen, or it might be a symbolic space you invent. Notice the light. What color is it? Is it cool and clear or warm and golden? Notice the air. Is it cool, carrying the scent of salt, or warm with sunlight and the smell of coffee? Place yourself there, standing or sitting in a posture that feels grounded. Feel the contact of your feet or the chair against you. Now hold in your hands a simple object that represents abundance to you. It could be a small stone, a folded note, a light. Feel its weight. Notice its texture. Allow that object to be a metaphor for the resources you want to cultivate. Time, attention, money, supportive people, energy. As you feel the object, say the following affirmation 3 times, each time noticing a different sensory detail about the place you are in. I am open to receiving abundance in many forms. I am open to receiving abundance in many forms. I am open to receiving abundance in many forms. After the 3rd repetition, let your attention widen and name 3 small things in this imagined space that represent abundance. They might be sunlight on the floor, a neighbor waving across a garden, the hum of traffic that reminds you of commerce and movement. Name them quietly or aloud, one by one. Now say this affirmation 3 times, feeling the breath move with each phrase. I notice opportunities when they appear. I notice opportunities when they appear. I notice opportunities when they appear. Imagine one opportunity in the scene as a small door or window opening. It could be a person entering with a conversation, a notice pinned to a board, a phone chiming with a message. Visualize a single concrete opportunity and allow the body to feel the slight rising of curiosity that accompanies noticing.
How does curiosity feel in your shoulders, your throat, your chest? Describe the sensation inwardly. We will now layer a behavioral rehearsal. See yourself reaching toward that opportunity and taking one clear step, no more than one small thing. If the opportunity is a conversation, see yourself saying one line. If the opportunity is an idea, see yourself jotting it down and scheduling a 5-minute next step.
If it is a potential income source, see yourself researching one fact or sending one brief message. Visualize the action in detail, the angle of your hand, the sound of the keys, the moment of sending or placing a note. Now repeat this action anchoring affirmation 3 times with breath. I take one small action that moves me toward this opportunity. I take one small action that moves me toward this opportunity. I take one small action that moves me toward this opportunity. As you finish the repetitions, breathe and allow the scene to settle. Notice the way your body registers the imagined steps. Even if the scene felt small, it has rehearsed both attention and movement, the 2 ingredients that produce results. This rehearsal is practice for the real world. Now open your eyes gently. Take 1 minute to write a single line describing the small action you will take in real life within the next 24 hours. Make it specific. What, when, how long. Keep it short. For instance, tomorrow at 10:30, I will send a 20-sentence inquiry to a potential collaborator. Or tonight after dinner, I will spend 10 minutes drafting 1 paragraph of a proposal. This clarity converts imagery into action. With the visualization complete, we move into practical journaling templates you can use to capture and evaluate evidence. The habit of recording 1 line of proof each day is powerful. It creates a living bank of counter-evidence against old beliefs. Here is a simple morning template to use for the first 2 weeks. Keep it to 1 or 2 lines so it is easy to maintain. Morning entry. Today my main affirmation is, write your practice affirmation. My 1 micro action today is, specific action, when, how long. 1 reason this action is believable and within reach is, short note. Example. Today my main affirmation is, I am learning to ask for helpful feedback. My 1 micro action today is, ask Sam for 1 specific point of feedback after the meeting. 1 reason this action is believable and within reach is, Sam has offered help before, and this feels low risk. In the evening, write 1 line of evidence. Evening entry. 1 small proof today. Describe a single event, response, feeling, or data point. How it changes my sense of the affirmation. 1 sentence. Example. 1 small proof today. Sam emailed a thoughtful suggestion about my presentation. How it changes my sense of the affirmation. I can ask for feedback and receive useful responses. If you prefer a 3-line version that adds reflection, use this extended evening template. 1 proof today. 1 thing I learned about my belief. 1 action I will repeat or adjust tomorrow. Keep the language concrete, no broad judgments. The goal is accumulation of specific data. Over time, these lines will accumulate into a visible record of progress. After 2 weeks, review your entries and highlight 3 items that most surprised you. These surprises are often the seeds of new stories.
To support habit formation, create a simple weekly tracker. Divide the week into 7 columns and write your practice affirmation at the top. Each day you practice and do your micro action, place a small mark in the box. Aim for consistency, not perfection. If you miss a day, note why and return. The tracker is not a shaming device. It is a mirror that reveals patterns. Now we will outline a 30-day micro-habit plan you can adapt. This plan moves gradually from bridge statements toward practice statements and finally toward expansion statements, while increasing the size of the micro-actions as your confidence and evidence accumulate. The plan is designed to be flexible. Treat it as guidance rather than a rigid script. Week 1. Build awareness and choose your bridge. Days 1 to 3. Notice and record common limiting beliefs with the noticing exercise. Select 1 belief to focus on this month. Days 4 to 7. Write 3 bridge affirmations for that belief. Pick the one that feels like a reachable next step. Choose a daily micro-action that is small and immediately doable. Practice your bridge 5 mornings this week and write 1 line of evidence each evening. Week 2. Stabilize repetition and tiny tests. Replace with the practice affirmation a slightly stronger, believable phrasing. Continue daily repetition, 2 to 3 minutes in the morning and a 30-second midday reminder. Micro-actions now become weekly tests you repeat multiple times. Short outreach, brief project draft, 1 boundary practice.
Track each day in the weekly tracker and write one line of evidence each evening. At the end of the week, review and note 3 small wins. Week 3. Scale the action and deepen evidence. Step up to more frequent microactions or slightly larger tasks. If your affirmation is career-related, apply to one position or pitch one idea. If it is relational, have one honest conversation. Continue daily recitation and evening evidence notes. Use habit stacking to anchor the practice to an existing routine. Add one accountability check-in midweek with a friend or partner. Week 4. Consolidate and expand to an expansion affirmation. Choose an expansion phrasing that reflects where you want to be when you have built proof. Continue daily practices, but begin to replace some microactions with scaling steps, longer conversations, larger applications, or an initial financial step like creating a simple budget or opening a separate savings account if that aligns with your microaction. At the end of the week, compile a short reflection. List 5 concrete pieces of evidence that contradict the old belief. Celebrate what you have learned. Plan one next step for the month ahead. Throughout the 30 days, return to notice, replace, reinforce, plus act whenever you sense resistance or stagnation. Some days will feel easier. Lean into those days and collect evidence.
Other days, resistance will be strong. Use bridge statements and reduce the action to its smallest viable form. If you want a printable version, create a one-page sheet with these fields: focus belief, bridge affirmation, practice affirmation, expansion affirmation, daily microaction, tracker grid, evening evidence field. Keep this sheet where you will see it. We also offer concrete troubleshooting strategies for common obstacles. Resistance, boredom, slow progress, and social pushback are typical. Here are practical responses. When affirmations feel false, soften the phrasing to a bridge and reduce the action to the smallest test. Ask, what is one tiny proof I could reasonably collect this week? Pick that test. When you forget to practice, anchor to a consistent daily habit, after brushing teeth, after making coffee, or before you check email. Use a visual cue in the environment. A card on the mirror, a timer on your phone, a sticky note. If you miss a day, simply note why and return without blame. When progress stalls, review your evidence notes. Often there is unseen data you can amplify. Try varying the microaction. If outreach didn't yield a response, refine the message or choose a different contact. If stalling persists, hold a short reflection. Did I choose an action that genuinely challenges the belief? If not, adjust. When social pushback occurs, some people will be skeptical. That is okay. Choose accountability partners who will encourage rather than critique. Share one small learning instead of your entire journey if that feels safer. When emotions arise, use curiosity. Ask what the emotion is trying to protect you from. Often resistance is a protection strategy. Notice it, thank it, and continue with a smaller step. Now, to deepen embodiment, we will practice an extended integration cycle that weaves worthiness, gratitude, and action into a longer guided session. This practice is designed for moments when you have 20 to 30 minutes and want to consolidate change across themes. It includes layered repetition, visualization, and journaling. Begin by finding a comfortable position and making the environment supportive. Soft light, a warm drink, a notepad nearby. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Breathe slowly for a few cycles, attending to the in and out of breath. Let the rhythm of breathing be a metronome for calm. Bring to mind your primary worthiness affirmation. It might be the one you used earlier. I am worthy of care and belonging. Say it quietly to yourself 3 times, letting the words sink into the body. On the 3rd repetition, place your hand over your heart and feel the contact. Now shift to a gratitude phrase. Name 3 small things you are grateful for in this moment. They can be small: the warmth of a cup, a brief message, a meal you enjoyed, a simple kindness you remembered. Say each gratitude line slowly and allow the feeling of appreciation to expand in the chest.
Next, choose one action-oriented affirmation related to abundance or career, something that anchors you in movement rather than passive wishing. Say it 3 times. Make it specific and doable. I take one professional step today. I reach out to one person this week. Or I track one financial decision this month. Feel the sentence as a quiet commitment. Weave these 3 threads together now. Repeat the triad: worthiness, gratitude, action, 3 times in sequence with breath between each set. I am worthy of care and belonging. I notice and give thanks for the good that is present. I take one small action today that moves me toward my goals. I am worthy of care and belonging. I notice and give thanks for the good that is present. I take one small action today that moves me toward my goals. I am worthy of care and belonging. I notice and give thanks for the good that is present.
I take one small action today that moves me toward my goals. As you repeat the triad, notice how the combination of worthiness and gratitude creates a base of receptivity, while action shifts you into the realm of proof. The three together, identity, appreciation, and movement, are the practical anatomy of attracting abundance. After the last repetition, imagine a line of days ahead, the next 7 days, and place your chosen micro-action on each day as a small dot. Visualize yourself performing the action with ease. Notice any obstacles that surface in the imagination, and gently rehearse one adaptation for each. If an obstacle is time, imagine shortening the action. If it is discomfort, imagine a friend accompanying you. If it is uncertainty, imagine breaking the step into 2 smaller moves. The rehearsal builds predictive capacity. It makes follow-through more likely. Open your eyes and write a short commitment sentence. My 7-day action is specific, when, how long. Below it, write 2 contingency plans for likely obstacles and 1 accountability check you will use at the end of the week. Keep the plan visible. Stick it on a mirror, your fridge, or the front of a notebook. We will now give you a set of variations for 3 core affirmations: worthiness, abundance, and health, so you can match the language to your level of belief and context. For each theme, there is a bridge, a practice, and an expansion version. Use bridge when resistance is high, practice when you can hold real repetition, expansion when you have evidence. Worthiness, bridge. I am open to feeling more deserving of care. Practice. I practice small acts of self-respect each day. Expansion. I naturally accept and receive love and respect in my life. Abundance. Bridge. I am open to noticing small signs of abundance. Practice. I take 1 practical step each day toward creating value. Expansion. I attract multiple streams of creative and financial abundance. Health. Bridge. I am learning small ways to support my energy. Practice. I choose 1 nourishing habit today.
Expansion. I feel vibrant and alive in my body. Each of these can be adapted for relationships and career by shifting a phrase. For relationships, change care to connection. For career, change value to opportunities or projects. Keep the core form present tense, personal, and emotionally anchored. Now a short section on personalization and language. Small tweaks matter. Use words that feel human rather than abstract. Replace prosperity if it rings hollow with stability, freedom, or capacity. Choose sensory words where possible. I feel calm and capable connects differently than I am calm and capable. If you prefer spiritual language, I trust my inner guidance can stand alongside secular phrasing like I trust my judgment. The aim is congruence. The sentence should be something your mind and body can accept and your behavior can support. A few more practical micro-actions to consider across themes. For worthiness, schedule a 5-minute self-care pause each day. For abundance, research 1 new income or value creation idea for 20 minutes weekly. For health, add 2 extra glasses of water to your daily count, or a 10-minute walk 3 times a week. For relationships, send 1 appreciative message each week. For career, ask for 1 specific piece of feedback, or send 1 brief proposal. Next, some frequently asked questions you might have as you practice. Will affirmations work if I don't believe them at first? Yes, if you use bridges and micro-actions. Belief often follows evidence. Start with woo-resistant sentences and test them with tiny behaviors. The evidence you collect is what shifts belief. How long before I see change? There is no fixed timeline. Some people notice small cognitive shifts in weeks, others take longer. The critical variable is consistent repetition plus aligned action. Think of this as a months-long project made of daily minutes. What if I get discouraged? Note the discouragement without judgment. Use it as data. Ask what small change in action could produce a different result next time. If discouragement persists, review your evidence bank. Your own recorded proofs often show progress you overlooked. Can affirmations replace therapy or professional help? No, affirmations are one tool among many. If you are dealing with trauma, severe depression, or other significant mental health challenges, combine these practices with the support of qualified professionals. Affirmations can complement therapeutic work, but are not a substitute. Should I say affirmations aloud or silently? Both can be effective.
Speaking aloud engages breath and voice and often feels more potent. Silent repetition can be useful in public settings. Use the mode that encourages feeling and regularity for you. How do I maintain momentum beyond 30 days? Keep a schedule of weekly reviews, continue collecting evidence, and scale your micro actions gradually.
Consider monthly themes. 1 month for worthiness, another for abundance, another for interpersonal courage. Maintain accountability with a friend or group, and treat practice as a lifelong skill, not a one-time cure. We will finish with 2 final extended guided practices you can use, one for mornings and one for evenings, to anchor the practice into daily life. Each is short, practical, and designed to bookend your day with intention and evidence. Morning practice, 3 to 5 minutes. Upon waking, sit up and place both feet on the floor. Take 3 slow breaths. Choose one practice affirmation and say it aloud 3 times. Visualize one small action you will take today that proves the affirmation. Write the action on a small card and tuck it into your pocket, or set it as a reminder on your phone. That's your commitment for the day. Evening practice, 3 to 5 minutes. At night, before bed, write one line of evidence from the day, something you did, someone said, or a feeling that shifted. Then write one line of gratitude. Finish with a single slow repetition of your affirmation and a short phrase of self-kindness. I return tomorrow. Keep the language gentle. As a final integration, return to the core triad that pulls this work together: identity, gratitude, and action. Identity tells your nervous system who you are. Gratitude amplifies the resources already present. Action supplies the proof. Together, they change what your mind expects, and therefore what your attention notices. The work of affirmations is not to produce instant miracles, but to steadily rewire the pathways that direct perception and choice. Over time, those small changes accumulate into a real opening, a new horizon of possibility. Before we close, take a moment to write down the single affirmation you will work with for the next 7 days, the micro action you will perform each day, and one accountability person or place where you will report back. Keep this note visible and treat it as an experiment rather than a promise. Expect imperfect days. Expect learning. Expect data. If you would like the templates and printable affirmation bank we referenced earlier, you can download them from the link in the description. Use them as a scaffold, not as a script. Make the language yours. Thank you for taking this time to meet yourself with curiosity and practical care. Affirmations are a tool. They work best when paired with honest observation, small consistent actions, and a willingness to collect evidence. When you notice a limiting belief, you have a choice: to rehearse it or to notice it, replace it, and move in a different direction. The more you practice that choice, the more your life aligns with the possibilities you are actually capable of creating. If you're ready to take the next step, join the 30-day affirmation challenge linked below to receive daily prompts, a printable workbook, and short reminder audios to guide your practice for the month. Begin with one belief, one sentence, one tiny action, and watch how the accumulation of small steps opens new doors. Transform your life. How affirmations can break limiting beliefs and attract abundance begins with a single sentence you are willing to say today.